Hi, this is Andrew Moore here to talk to you about film and battery loading for a Polaroid land camera. This one happens to be the 101 series. This was just about top of the line, and most of the cameras made in the 60s are very much similar. So this will apply to virtually all of them. That's how you open it. But today we're going to talk about film. Now usually when you find these cameras, if you go to open up the back compartment, there's already this box inside of there, and that's an old film cartridge. So you just lift it up and it pops out. Now the new film is this stuff right here. They have black and white as well, but today I want to use color. This is the first time I'm personally using color film. So it's FP100C, so that's 100 speed. On the top of the camera, there's a setting to choose between color or black and white. And the way you change that is this little tab on the bottom here. If you press that to the side, that little yellow arrow points back and forth. So we want it on color. Now, the batteries for this camera, it's a 4.5 volt, which is very hard to find. If you do choose to go the route of getting an original 4.5 volt battery for this camera, you'll end up spending around $9 plus shipping, since you can only order it online. So what a lot of people like to do is convert the battery compartment to accept 3 AAAs, which is the equivalent of 4.5 volts. So I've modified this one. Now this is a 4 battery holder from Radio Shack. Holds 4 AAAs, but I've taken a knife and I've cut out this last compartment here. And then that's that compartment with one of these springs. The spring that came out was attached to this red wire. And since each one of these individual units is attached to one another so that you have a full circuit, you need to crimp that spring back in place in the next circuit, because on the other end it'll pull it out, basically. There are a few other videos online that show you different ways of doing this, but basically you end up having a full circuit of 3 AAA batteries, and you wire that into the camera. The white wire in the camera is positive, so that goes to the red on the battery compartment, and then both black wires are negative. So we just have 3 AAA batteries. And load them up as usual. Now, the reason why I chose to cut this compartment away, and some people don't, is it fits in the camera a little bit better. The alternative, if you leave that, you may have to go inside the camera compartment, because that tab right there and that one right there will have to be cut out somehow, and it's just really hard to do, to get inside the camera and do that. If you're able to do that, by all means go ahead, because it's relatively hard to get this out. So now the battery compartment is closed. Now you need to know if your camera actually works with the batteries. This right here is an electric eye, which measures how much light is coming in from the surrounding area, and that judges how long to open the lens for, the shutter. So what you're going to do is you're going to cock the camera, and if the battery works, you should hear 2 clicks. So if you cover up this, or I should say, if you don't cover up that, take the camera picture, you hear 2 clicks, one right after the other. Now, if you were to take a battery out, you would hear 1 click. that means the shutter didn't open at all because this wasn't working. And you can better see this by covering the electric eye completely and taking the picture. As soon as I moved my thumb, it shut the shutter. So that means the batteries are working. Now you have to load up the film. So, as seen before, just push that little button right there, that lever, and the back opens up. There's the inside of the camera. Another way to see if it's working. The shutter opened. If the batteries were not in there, that shutter would not have opened. So, open your film. Now, make sure you watch out because the boxes make it clear that you're not supposed to hold the film like this because you could damage it. So there's your film pack. Looks pretty much the same as the old empty pack, only this one's plastic. Some people have a problem with this page ripping when it comes out of the camera because sometimes the camera can be kind of stubborn. These rollers right here, there's a red tab on top. By pushing in that red tab, you can bring the rollers up to clean them. Because sometimes they get dirty, especially in the old cameras. So all you have to do is take a matchstick or a piece of cardboard and just wipe them off. But make sure you don't use anything abrasive because you don't want to scratch the rollers. So those have been cleaned ahead of time. Now you just insert the film. And it's pretty simple. Just make sure this stuff, these are your tabs, make sure that hangs over this edge. Put it in like that, flat. It's all hanging over the edge. And there we go. That's it. So, this is going to be outside. The camera's shut. Now, you have to remove this black tab. Sometimes if the camera is too tight inside, it may feel a little hard to pull out, but just pull it out steadily and quickly. And that is a problem. So, the piece of the cover sheet ripped. Now this black piece of paper is responsible for keeping the film dark while you're loading it into the camera. Now fortunately, only a small amount ripped off when I pulled it out of the camera. So we're able to open up the back of the camera. If you got more of this, or if you actually felt it advance before it ripped, then you'd have to take it into a dark room. But we don't have to do that. We can just open it right up. So you see, this is what happened. It ripped right about there. So now what you got to do is basically tape it back on. So remove the film. We're going to see what we can do here. Now be careful because this is attached to your very first sheet. So you need to be careful when taping it. Also, don't press down if you can. Try not to put much pressure. Then do the other side. And that should work. Unfortunately, Fujifilm is known for this type of problem, so a lot of people just right off the bat put tape on it before they pull it out of the camera. So hopefully you'll have better luck. Just as a precaution, tape the edges too. And it doesn't have to be anything neat. Just remember that you shouldn't be putting pressure on the top or bottom of this pack. So now we're going to try this again. So take the camera. Rollers seem to be alright. Put in the film as we saw before, just make sure everything's over the edge. Now it's in. And we're going to try it again and hope for the best. So now it's in. The lever's all the way over to the right. It's snapped into place. And there you go. That is your first picture. This is the giant sheet that was inside the camera, keeping the film from getting exposed. It's basically construction paper, so it doesn't hold out very well sometimes, but that's okay. We were able to solve the problem. So that is how you load the camera and what to do in an emergency. Like I said before, if you get more than just this little bit, like if you were to get this much ripping out of the camera, you would have to go into a completely dark room and try to pull the rest of it out by yourself and then shut the back of the camera. Which you can still do that. It says that in the original Polaroid manual. So, best of luck to you.